Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So we are playing our fourth session of Savage Worlds Rifts this time. We've got quite a bit that might happen this session and I've planned very little because I've been busy doing lots of other stuff. What do we have happening? So this session, what we're going to do is Sean, our Cyber Knight, is going to be attempting to assist in the opening of a ley line point, a ley line node, which is in the chapel area in the center of this this very sort of very mess up top. It's not a great town, but it's a resistance town that is trying to hold out against the vampires in the vampire kingdom. Sean was asked, but I think it was Tommy Boy, who was the trader. I think gave the information about the ley line opening. There's a possible clock that we might have like an attack as we attempt to get that ley line to open. But what I was also thinking, based on the fact that we're trying to do this cinematically, if this was a TV series, we would open up with a piece of information or a piece of thing. Now there are some things that you will see if you go into the Patreon and you're able to download the stuff about the area, that there is a person, I think I put this in this bit, otherwise I'll cut and paste it in from the other file that I wrote, that is a secondary vampire, is in the town as a spy that they can find out about, and that spy could stop the ley line being opened, because the ley line will give access to this town to outer parts via ley line walkers, and also the ley line walker will be able to produce power, and that will give the town a little bit more of a oomph to fight against the vampire kingdoms. So the secondary vampire might not want that. We also randomly rolled last time that out in the jungle, not only that because there was a vampire patrol out in the jungle, that could be linked to the secondary vampire. There was also, I remember saying that we heard some dog boys. There were some dog boys howling out in the jungle as we came in. I vaguely recall, but I haven't got that written down, which is a shame really. But I remember saying that there were some dog boys. So we could also have some dog boys attack as we're attempting to get the ley line up, just to give us an extra complication if something fails. If we roll something bad, something fails, then we can have attack from one of those two. Sean can try and fight those off a bit whilst our ley line walker tries to keep the ley line up, and it gives a little bit of interest and a little bit of unknown. So we want an opening scene with one of those two being the enemy that is going to come in. So we will use our yes/no oracle, and we are going to say, is it the? So I think I would rather the dog boys than the secondary vampire, though the secondary vampire would be wanting to stop it, so it's probably more likely the secondary vampire, though the dog boys might be a little bit more interesting. I do have the stats for a secondary vampire already written down from that fight in that episode before last. So we'll say it's more than likely the secondary vampire. So we'll go 50-50, 10 or above, it's the secondary vampire. 7, no, it's not the secondary vampire, which means it's the dog boys. So there is a small pack of dog boys that are going to hit the town as we're going to start doing the ley line, if something like that will then trigger. So we will have a clock. So we've seen we'll cut to the jungle, and the dog boys are howling. So we have a scene of the jungle, the opening scene of the jungle, where we can just hear a howling. The camera's going to pan through the jungle. The howling gets louder, and we have a small scene with the dog boys howling. Let's find you a picture of dog boys. So that is a dog boy who is obviously working for some organisation, because he's dressed properly. So basically it's a hybrid, half dog, half man. It would be, so the dog boy would not, but these are wild, so they would look less pleasant and fluffy bunnykins and more quite wild, and they are really angry and starting to howl. We've got a Dog Boy Soldier Coalition. So we might use Dog Boy Soldier Coalition, but these would not be armed with any sort of coalition type weapons. They would be armed as wild things. Coalition Soldier a dog boy coalition soldier is what we will use. What weapons have they got? Gear. We'll give them light armor, so they've got scrappy light armor, and they will have vibro blade van braces. So just the same as that other geezer had, which is vibro blades strapped to the forearms. That's what the dog boys have. There's how many of them are there? There's a D4. D4 might be too many, mightn't it? A D3 plus 1. So there's 3 of them. So the pack contains 3 dog boys. They're howling, and then we see them bounding into the jungle, and that's when credits, starting credits roll, and then we cut to them standing around in the chapel. There's Sean standing there. There's a few of them standing there, and Sean is going to be turned to, and Sean is going to attempt to direct some form of security. They need to. We'll give Sean back his PowerPoints, because we'll say that Sean got his PowerPoints back. So Sean is going to assist in helping them defend in case the ley line ruptures. Now, one of the things that we would then have, so let's have a clock. Let's have a. Did I talk about this last time? There'd be a clock, secondary vampire attack. Maybe the secondary. Well, the clock is also. The clock is now the dog boys attack. So let's give a 4-tick clock, and any fail we cross off. Well, there might be a ley line event, so we should have some small ley line events kicking off. If it's a pulsing ley line node, then something definitely is going to come through, and we can use the ley line tables for the ley line events to say what would come through. So we can pick what might come through. So we would have, now there are all rules about ley lines and how to get them to settle. I'm not going to bother looking any of them up. I'm just going to make something up. We're going to say that we have there's a ley line walker who we're introduced to called Tammy. There's a ley line walker called Tammy. Standard ley line walker. He's a walker. Lots of beads, lots of robes, very zen, can push herself through the ley line network and move around. She came up with Tommy Boy in the cut. We might be able to leave with Tommy Boy. If this goes well, Tommy Boy may be able to leave with us. Yeah, I mean, if it goes really well, the ley line walker may be able to take us. But if we might travel with Tommy Boy, because that might be quite interesting in protecting the convoy for a bit. We will give Tammy, let's give Tammy a psionics of a D8. D8 is all right, but it's not great. Tammy, of course, does not get a wild die like we do. We have a science, so we'll give her a D10 actually, because we have a D8. So she has a psionics of a D10. We will say that we need not just a hit, there needs to be a raise for each of our 4 pulses. If it's just a hit, then it will progress. We'll have 2 clocks, so we're going to have the dog boy attack. That ticks with a fail. And we're going to have stabilizing the gate, where we'll have 6 boxes. That we only get with a raise. A raise will tick off a box on stabilizing. We need to get 6 raises. We can get multiple raises. And we are going to have an event clock, which we already have an event clock. Where's our event clock that we already... Oh, there we go. We've got 2 ticks on our event clock already. And the event clock is whenever we roll a 1 on our wild die, or we pull a joker, or if we roll doubles on any of the tables, it will fire that. And that means that the ley line is going to ripple out and then cause an event. We have 2 left for that. So they have dug up a strange stone that pushed through from another dimension in this ley line point that's here. Let's describe that stone. Let's do a RIFTS verb to describe the stone. We'll use that one. We've got D100. We're going to describe what this stone is like. We've got 99. We have trap. Okay, it's built specially. That's my Dagger Heart books that have been. I sent them to the printer, the one that printed all this stuff. That's on the way. Don't mock me. I quite enjoy it. If that means that I'm a drama kid, then who knew? So it's called Trap. So maybe the 6 for the stabilization is okay. So if we get, I'm going to do a separate thing, which is if we roll. So there's 4 of these, and this is if we roll and we only get a success, and on a hit for that, then we trigger an event as well. So this is so that's for raises, we get tick off those, and this is for normal hits, and that's for fails. So fails trigger the dog boy clock, raises trigger the stabilized clock, normal successes trigger the event, and then we got the other event clock, which is the 1s and the jokers. We're not going to need jokers at the moment. So first off, they're all celebrating that this happens. The Leyline Walker is doing some meditation to try and make sure that she is focused. We are going to give, so she's meditating, and she is going to ask Sean to meditate with her. We haven't given Sean any raises. We didn't do an advancement for Sean for last session, because though he did some rolls and stuff, not much happened. He will get an advancement after this session. So she is going to roll her psionics. She gets a 4, which is a hit, so she meditates. She doesn't get a bonus because she didn't get a raise, so we're not going to give her a +1 on anything. Is Sean going to Sean will meditate for an hour, which gives him his ISP back. Is there anything he's got psionic wise? He's got empathy, he's got healing, and he's got deflection. He could trigger the deflection, but that lasts for a battle, so he might just wait until he gets into a battle and then use that to trigger that. Other than that, he will help Tammy with trying to do what they're doing. So first off, they're both going to roll. Tammy will roll first, and then Sean is going to roll. They're going to basically focus on each other. We've got a scene where it's very tense. Maybe they're sitting cross-legged. There's got some crystals are laid out in a certain pattern on the floor. Sean is wearing his full tech armor. He's got his Psi Blade is been dispensed. That's a free action to activate that. He's not got his Psi Shield activated. He's got his laser rifle is across his back. His gear is in the corner. Everyone is prepared. All of the external UV lights have been initiated. It is daytime, although they expecting, it's going to start going dark as soon as they start the ritual. And Tammy says, "Are you ready?" She lights some joss sticks, and they kick off. And Tammy then focuses to raise the ley line, which they've uncovered. So this massive stone with all this carvings around it. Which shall I do another roll on the thing? 80. I'll cut the science. Repair. So what they're attempting to do. So we've got trap and repair. So the trap we've done. And what we're attempting to do is we're attempting to repair this ley line stone to then get this node functioning. She gets to roll her psionics. She gets a 3, which is a fail. The dog boy tick goes. So she gets a fail for that. Now we're going to get Sean. Sean has a D8 and a D6 that he's going to attempt to roll. Sean also has bennies that he can utilise. Sean attempts to focus as well. Sean gets an 8, which explodes to give a 13. So that's a 4 plus an 8. 4 with an 8 plus a 4 for the 12 give 2 raises to stabilise. So she starts to struggle a bit. We get 1 hit on the dog boys attacking, so they're starting to sense that something's going on, and the howling outside begins to elevate a bit. Their sparks go off around the stone when she begins to focus, and then we can see that Sean, their eyes, like it's one of those close-up anime type views of their two faces close together, although they're sitting quite far apart. We've moved them in close together camera-wise. He then seems to be focused and draws her focus in and says, "Keep centered," as he gets the 2 hits to stabilize. What shall we do at this point? I think this is all right at this point. We've got 1 foul. We can hit a halfway point, and then we can have the outside people we hear some shots going off outside. we didn't have any normal successes for an event to trigger. So she is going to begin to sweat, and under her breath she says, it's okay, I've got it back. She gets a 2, which is not getting it back. Shots begin to get fired off outside as the dog boys are now probing the defences. Sean is having to focus on what's going on. He gets to do his psionics roll. He gets a 7, which is a success, but no raise. So a 7 is a success with no raise. We could spend a Benny and try and re-roll that, but we might get a fail. But that gives a cross on our event trigger, which is a success and no fail. The energy in the room is becoming very static. The dust on the ground begins to raise up, and stones begin to move around and circle around both of them as they're sitting cross-legged. We'll have the dog boys are going to hit this central bit, because that will then give Sean a fight within this bit and she can keep focusing on it. They are continuing to focus on trying to activate this ley line stone and get it to work better. 5 is at least a hit, but it's not a raise, which means we have the static electricity, so an event might kick off. The static electricity coming off of the ley line stone begins to arc. It's glowing bright red and bright purple. We can start to see a small gate is beginning to settle and form above, like there's a small dot which is beginning to rotate, like a tiny little ball bearing is rotating above the ley line stone. And she says, that's not good. Sean has a 4 and a 6. A 6 is a success, a 4 is also a success, but it isn't a raise, which means that we're going to get an event. So that's a cross for the event triggering. So the ball bearing size begins to expand and it becomes fist size. It's just a glowing silver sphere which is rotating, arcing purpley red electricity and energy begins to come off the stone and hit this sphere. She starts to say, this is not working. Well, at least we haven't had a foul yet. A 9 is a hit with a raise for her, so she gets a raise, 1 raise, beginning to is that right? Yeah, 4 plus 4, 8. So we cross the 8, which goes to but only 1 raise. So she begins to stabilize. The arcing continues, but it's beginning to the ball is not growing bigger. We've got 3 stabilizations left to get before it's stabilized and we've opened up the ley line. We have 2 fails to get in the dog boys attack. We have 1 normal success, and the event will trigger and it will expand, let something out and then contract again. And we still haven't got our clock for our wild event occurring yet. That is still got 2 to hit. She seems to be a lot more confident. She's going, I think I've got this. Oh, actually, no, we've got Sean's go, haven't we? That was her, now it's Sean. As Sean starts to focus, he catches her eye. Oh no, man. Okay, the event triggers. No, he's going to spend a Benny. So he's got 3 Bennies. He's going to spend 1 of his 3 Bennies from this session to re-roll that. A 1 on the wild die triggers on the event die. The 6 is not enough to get a hit. So we'll do another clock. So that means an event triggers off. We do another clock for that. We're going to give her a roll. And then we are going to say that the event kicks off. She gets a 2, which is a dog boy, a failed roll. So all hell's going to break loose. We might have the dog boys attack and the event. So all of a sudden, there's a pop. The fist-sized metal sphere expands to, and I will roll on the, what should we roll? Era. Let's roll on the era, which is a D12. And we have other factors, which is a D10. D12 and D10. So we have a 3, which is Bronze and Iron Age Early Civilization era, and a 7, fiction verse. Okay, so we are going to have, what was it? The one with, the classic film, what's her name? Bridget Bardot? Was it Bridget Bardot? Wearing the leathers coming through. Basically, we'll have 2 cave people will just be sucked out of this portal and appear in. Sean is going to have to stand and fight with them. Give me 2 seconds. I am going to find some stats of something we can use. They're just going to have clubs. Sean may not even attack them. We'll give them a chance to roll whether they're going to attack us or not. Actually, we'll do that first and then we'll look for stats. But if they are calm, then they might not attack us. Hold on. Reaction table. All right, we're going to roll on the reaction table, and we were just going to roll straight on the reaction table and see how they are going to react to us. Then we will give Sean a chance. So if they're reacting negatively, Sean is probably going to try and he will do empathy, and then he's going to go and try and calm them down. So we've got a 5. A 5 is uncooperative. The target isn't interested in getting involved unless there's a significant advantage to themselves. So they've appeared. They are a bit unsure and they're a bit unwary, which means that Sean can then take a break, which means it's just down to her to do it. Sean is not going to be able to do a roll now because Sean is going to, I think empathy is an instant. He's going to use empathy. He does have charismatic, which means he can do a persuasion roll for free. Empathy, I think, gives him an advantage on his roll. Empathy gives him a +1 or a +2 based on a opposed spirit roll, whether he gets a plus that. We're going to give them a D6 for their spirit. Sean has a D8 for his, so Sean's is the green, they're that. So they get a 6. Sean gets less than a 6, which means that they win. So Sean attempts to give empathy. So this is a opposed roll versus spirit to add +1 or +2 social skills to the duration of the power. All right, so Sean kicks off empathy, which costs Sean 1 power point and doesn't work, but he can do it afterwards. Sean is now going to step forward and attempt to calm them down and then usher them off. His persuasion is a D6. And then usher them off to try and get someone else to look after them. He is going to just attempt to persuade them. So we'll just say he needs a hit for this. Maybe because he failed. No, a hit. A hit will then make them from uncooperative to become cooperative. He is going to attempt to get them to cooperate and someone will take them off. Otherwise, if he fails on this, they will have a little skirmish. A hit. Just about a hit on his wild die. As a 4 is a hit, so they start to calm down. There's these 2 dirty looking, they're the standard, although I'm sure Nathandrels didn't look dirty like that all the time. That they begin to calm down and Sean ushers them off to the side as she then is going to, as Tammy is going to attempt to try and get this ley line to function properly, which is another fail, which means the dog boys are now going to attack. We will then have the dog boys attack. I will grab that. Where did I put the stats for the dog boys? Here they are. All right, so 3 dog boys are going to come in and attack. Sean is going to keep trying to fight them off, and then we'll switch to Sean fighting them off, and she is going to keep trying to stabilize this gate. She has 3 left to stabilize. Okay, so we'll give there's gunshots outside, so the dog boys are coming in. There's shots are going off. We will have 3 standard non-wild card dog boys are going to come piling through the door, breaking into the chapel. Sean will stand and go and fight them, and she can then continue attempting to stabilize the gate. We no longer will then trigger the gate, the clock for fails, because that's already triggered. We will only trigger the gate for the events. Maybe the cavemen will help us fight off the dog boys. That's interesting, isn't it? We'll give the cavemen, what shall we give them? We'll give them a D6 fighting. We will say they have a toughness of, I don't know, it's not going to be high, is it? It probably is, we'll give them a 6 toughness. A 6 toughness and a parry of 7. Parry of 7. So that's there's 2 Nathandrels. So these are the Nathandrels. they go the ace. Then we've got the dog boys go on a 3, and then Sean goes on a 10. So we've got the Thandrils, and then the dog, and then Sean, and then the dog boys are going to go. So, that's each turn, isn't it? So this first turn, because I forgot that, because most of the other ones are the same. So every turn we'll draw more cards. This turn we have the Thandrils. These dog boys are going to come in. We all say that they don't get to act this turn because they're a bit shocked and they don't know really what's going on. So then we'll switch to Sean. Sean is going to activate his Psi Sword, which is a free action. He will then attempt to activate Deflection, which is going to be an action, and then he is going to attack the dog boys, which will be at a -2, which means that to activate the Deflection is a -2 on this. He has a Psionics of a D8, and he gets a D6 for his wild die, but he's -2. He gets a fail for that, and a fail for that, which means the Deflection fails to go off. He can use one of his last 2 bennies to trigger this, or not, as the case may be, which gives him a parry of 7, which means he doesn't get that, but he's still on the -2. If he tries again, then it's -4, so he still gets a -2. So that fails, but he does spend his points. Deflection is 2 points, which gives him 7 power points left. He is going to charge at one of the dog boys. He only has his sword out, and he's going to attempt to mash up one of the dog boys. The dog boys also have a parry of 7. Sean has a fighting of a D10 now, and he's got his D6 wild die. He charges in. I don't think he's got any pluses to this. He needs to hit their parry of 7. He's just going for one of them. He needs to hit a parry of 7. That's a shame, because that -2 is a 5, which misses the parry of 7. So we are going to throw that in, because we really could do with doing one of them. So he gets to re-roll this. Whoop. That is a 5. I won't re-roll that. And a 3. No, so he misses. So he goes charging in. They hold up their claws and they're defending themselves. Then we have the 3 dog boys. We are going to say there's 2. We'll go 1-1-1. One is going to go against one caveman who looks handy. One is going to go against the other caveman. One's going to go against Sean. So we have the dog boys against Sean. The dog boys have a fighting of a D8. So against Sean, Sean at the moment has a parry of 7. The dog boy misses Sean. They've all got a parry of 7. And then we've got against one of the missing, and against the other one missing. So all the dog boys charge in. We're dodging. The cavemen are now activated, because the cavemen have now seen what's going on. Cavemen go on a 2. Sean gets a joker. Dog boys get a 7. So Sean gets a Benny back, goes first and gets a +2 on all of his rolls at this stage. So what was that? That was Sean, dog boys, cavemen. So Sean gets a +2. Sean is going to try doing it again, so that will negate everything. Sean is going to try and activate deflection again, giving a 4, which is good enough. Because the +2 negates the 2 for the double action. So he now has a parry of 9 as a shield appears on his arm, and he then will charge in and attempt to attack one of the dog boys, getting a 6 and a 9. So the 9's good. The 9 hits. The 6 will explode, giving a 9 and a 9. A 9 does not give a raise above their parry of 7. That would need to be an 11, but it does hit. So he hits one of the dog boy who is, he activates his shield, and with the sword then comes down, slashing against the dog boy, doing a D4 plus 2D8, damage, D4 plus 2, D8 damage to the dog boy, and the dog boy has a toughness of 12. 5 of it is armor piercing, is armor, which would give him a toughness of 7, maybe, which is a 3, which is a 10, which is above the 7 but not raising, so that dog boy is shaken. So the dog boy that is fighting Sean is shaken, and that's it for Sean. Now we have the dog boys, so that dog boy is going to attempt to make a vigor roll, or is it spirit? It's spirit, which is a d6. He needs to beat a 4. He fails to, so he's still shaken. The other two are going to try attacking the cavemen. They need to beat a 7. They both fail. Now the cavemen are going to act, because the cavemen are a bit annoyed by this. We'll do both of these two as both cavemen. They need to hit 7s, so they need to explode, failing. So we've got all these people bundling against each other. Now that was 2 rounds, which means that she gets to do 2 rounds worth of checks, because I forgot. So the first round, she's focusing. She gets a hit, which is but no stabilization, and the second one, she needs, come on, an 8, yes. The second one, she gets a stabilization, so she's beginning to stabilize. The ball fluctuated out and then came back again. She's sweaty's coming off of her face. People are screaming, trying to cheer everyone on and make sure that everyone is doing their jobs properly. Is this clock still ticking? She is saying to Sean that she needs Sean's help. Now Sean could give help at the same time, but it will be a -2 for all actions. So he could have done that with the Joker, but then he couldn't have done the attack and activated his deflection at the same time. So we are now down to cards again. So we have, what was it? It's Dog Boys, Sean, Cavemen. Dog Boys get a Joker. Oh no! I need to shuffle because we pulled the Joker. Right. Dog Boys, King, Sean, Joker. Oh wow. Cavemen. Okay, so we've got Sean, Dog Boys, Cavemen. Right, so Sean is going to try and help. So Sean gets a Benny back. Sean is going to try and help and attack one of the Dog Boys, and he will use his +2 negate the -2. So first off, he's going to try and help, and then we'll roll her help. He has a D8 for his psionics, and he's got a D6 for his wild die. 2 and 2, we're going to throw in a Benny. He's going to attempt to do that again. We've got 3 and 2, he's going to chuck another Benny. He's still got 1 left. He's going to try that again. Come on, Sean. Oh yeah, that's cool. It's not a raise though, sadly. Oh no, that explodes. The 6 explodes. 6 + 3 is a 9, which is with a raise. So he gets 1 raise, stabilising the gateway, but he burnt 2 bennies to get there. So he stays stabilising even more. The Dog Boys are growling in the background. He then turns to one of the Dog Boys and he's going to try and attack the Dog Boy. He's only got 1 Benny left at this point, remember. He has, oh man, he's going to throw that 1 Benny away and try and attack the Dog Boy. This is the shaken Dog Boy. Rubbish. He gets distracted by the stress. He's got no Bennies left now. He gets distracted by the stress of sealing that gate, and he then fails to hit the Dog Boy, who might come out shaken. This is her attempting to stabilise it. 4, man. That is a failure on the event bit. It is not a failure on the leyline event clock, but it is a failure. No, it's not even a success, is it? So it doesn't even get that. That would be triggering the Dog Boys. So she's getting flustered by the combat that's going on. Now we have the Dog Boys. The Dog Boy who is shaken is going to attempt to get rid of shaken, which is a spirit, which is a D6, which is a fail. He's still shaken and unable to act. Then we have the 2 that are going to attempt to attack the cavemen. One hits with a raise, which would do, so his claws hit with a raise will give him the same as the vibroblade claws, which is his strength, which is a d8 plus 2d4 plus a d6 because he got a raise. This is against one of the Nathandrels, doing, so 6, so that's 8, that's 15, that's 18, that's 22, 23 points of damage. He eviscerates this caveman. So one of the cavemen gets absolutely eviscerated. We are going to say it is highly likely that the other caveman is going to attempt to run away. Highly likely would mean that it very likely indeed is 6 or above. 2, no, he stands his ground. He stands his ground. He's seen his comrades being eviscerated by wild animals, lots. And the other one, have I rolled the attack for the other one against? And the other one tries 7, that's a hit, but that's a plain hit. I think he's going to get eviscerated, which is d8 and just 2 of these. 3, 6, 7. 7 only just beats the toughness by 1, which makes that caveman shaken. And then we are, so that's all the dog boys have gone, and then that caveman who can have a d6 for spirit gets a 4, gets a hit. That caveman is no longer shaken, and he's going to try and attack the dog boy. Gets a 5, which is enough, which doesn't hit him with a 7. So end of that round. So what are we on? We are on one of the cavemen has been eviscerated. One of the dog boys is still shaken and unable to get involved in the fight. Sean isn't doing very much. Sean may need to try and take out 2 of the dog boys in this turn and can't really help her. We are 1 square away from the ley line activating and being stabilised, but these dog boys are really causing problems. We have, what was first? Dog boys are first. Dog boys first on Joker, then Sean, a queen, which goes before the Jack, and then the solitary caveman goes on the 6. I don't know why the people here aren't helping. I haven't worked that one out yet. So we've got Sean going first, then we've got the dog boys, then we've got the caveman. Now Sean could attempt to activate the ley line and stabilise it, but that would then stabilise, and then we can then say that she will then focus on helping the fight the dog boys, and I guess that she would have some sort of stuff that she could do. I'll have to look up ley line walkers quickly. So we will go, Sean is going to do 2 things at once. He's going to try and stabilise it, which gives him a -2. But they both they both explode. So that explodes. So that's 12. That's 16 -2 gives a 14. The gate stabilizes. There's a thump and a glow, and the whole of that stone begins to glow. The silver orb goes into the stone and begins to glow. Let's roll hers as well. Well, she's a bit sweaty at the moment. She isn't going to be able to help them this turn. Then Sean is going to turn and try and attack the shaken dog boy. He gets -2 for this, remember? And he fails. He fails to hit the dog boy. He has no bennies to try and roll against that. Now we've got the dog boy. So the dog boy is going to attempt to come out of his shaken. No, he fails. Then we've got the other one is now going to attack Sean. It has what was that? It's a D8 for fighting, wasn't it? Tries to attack Sean. Sean has a 9 for parry at the moment, failing. And then the last caveman who's attacking, he doesn't get attacked either. The caveman tries to attack the dog boy. Come on, caveman. D6. Nope. And there's a standoff happening. Now, gate is sealed. Let me quickly have a look and see what a ley line walker will do. All right. The ley line walker can, Tammy, or maybe Tammy will help Sean for a bit because they've got some, they can do blasts and stuff. All right, she is going to attempt to bolt. She's going to use bolt and attempt to bolt one of 2d6 ranged attack. Okay, she's going to attempt to bolt one of the dog boys. If I remember rightly, this is a psionics roll attempting to go above the parry, and then we roll the damage. If I remember rightly, it's 1 power point. If we spend extra power points, she can get more damage. She will spend extra power points to get 3d6 damage on this attack. Right, but first off, we need to see who goes first. Dog boys. Did I shuffle? I didn't need to. Go on a queen. Sean goes on 2. Caveman goes on an 8. Leyline Walker goes on a 5. Right, dog boys go first. We will have one dog boy. So we've still got the shaken one. So it's dog boy, leyline walkers, dog boy, leyline walkers, dog boys, leyline walker, cavemen, Sean, I think it is. So, shaken one first. Gets out of shaken. We'll attempt to attack Sean. Misses Sean, because Sean's got a 7, a 9. Then we've got 1 against the caveman. Misses the caveman by 1 point. Then we got against the leyline walker. One of the dog boys will turn and go for the leyline walker, who has, what is the leyline walker's parry? There's a parry of 5. Missing the leyline walker. Right, dog boys done. With their claws are running around causing problems. Leyline walker is going to attempt to burst against the one who attacked her. She has a spirit of D8. I said a D10. We're going to give it a D10 because that would be arcane. Oh, it's smarts for her because it's arcane magic, which means that she gets a D10 attempting to shoot against this thing. A 9 hits it, but without a raise, but it does strike it. She burst it, so she will do 3d6 damage against this dog boy. Not a lot. 6 points isn't enough to pierce its armor. The dog boy's armor is so this isn't armor piercing, it's a 12. So that's not enough, and she doesn't have any sort of bennies she can use. We've got the caveman who is going to attempt to attack. I think after this round, we are going to say that the rest of the people come in and they just basically they capture the dog boys. We'll give this round of combat and Sean a chance to do something. The caveman fails, and then we will say that that's it. Now Sean is going to attempt to do 2 attacks, -2 for both, and see if he can take out 2 dog boys. That dog boy is, because these dog boys haven't really been hurt yet, so he's going to go against one dog boy. Okay, we trigger one of those, which means at the beginning of next session we will have a leyline event, a big event, or we'll say the vampires attack next session, vamp attacks next session, because that's that one. But we did get a 10, which is good. So that means we've definitely hit it. But have we hit it with a raise? That's 14. The dog boy has an armor of 12, which is a 7, which is an 11. So yes, with one raise? Yeah, with one raise. So we get raise 1d4, 2d8 against the dog boy, who has a toughness of... No, that's parry. That was parry. Now it's got a toughness of 12 minus the 5 is a 7, a toughness of 7. Which, did we kill one of the... No, that killed the thingy. So we got a 10, a 13, an 18. An 18 is a hit, which is the 7. 1 raise, which is the 11, which is all it needs. 2 raises. So Sean decapitates one of them, and then he turns and tries to go for the other one. So even with a -2, that still works. So this is the attack against another dog boy. We've got an 8. Oh, -2 doesn't do it, does it? Because it's a 7. -2 means he would miss. we could just let Sean. We're gonna let Sean do it. He doesn't get the bonus damage. He gets an 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points. Does it with a raise. He does for 2 of the dog boys. The final dog boy is swamped by the inhabitants. The leyline walker is breathing heavily. She is knackered. The last caveman is now standing over the body of his fallen comrade. And this is where we will. So we've got all that. So we are going to go straight on. So the dog boy has been suppressed. We've got the caveman. So we can have the leyline walker and the caveman and Sean will fight this secondary vampire, and then maybe the caveman and the leyline walker will go with Sean at least on into Picos Empire next session. So we'll start. So what we end the scene where the dog boy's been suppressed. The leyline walker and Sean go over to help the caveman calm down because his comrade's been killed. At this point, the door gets kicked open. The person that we know is a vampire because we have been shown as the audience steps in and says, "Can I come in?" And that's where the episode, explosive fangs will have the full leather gear, big sword, and we'll do a fight against the secondary vampire next session. And that will be that. We have activated the ley line. We'll let Sean have a advancement. That's the end of that session. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not yet a subscriber, do consider subscribing. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild for your support. If you would like to get hold of this, I'm about to right now, once I've turned all the cameras off and started the upload of stuff onto the computer, I will put this stuff onto Patreon because I think that's okay. And if it's not okay, then do tell me someone and I'll take it off again. And that's it. I shall see you next week for a fight with a vampire, and then we'll get in a caravan and travel into the Picos Empire. See ya.